name is Fabian, and this is my story.
Fabian, how is the Refocus retreat different from other retreats or leadership retreats you've been on?
I think the biggest difference was the time and the isolation. So when I say isolation, I don't mean it in a bad way. It was really more the alone, intentional alone time with Christ. That was the biggest difference for me. Other retreats that I've been on, um, there are a lot of distractions and things that kind of pulled my attention away, and I could easily go back to my devices or to work or other distractions. And in those times, I wasn't focused on what God had for me. The difference with refocus is one, I had no choice. There was nothing that could pull me away. And it was such an intentional, like separate experience. It kind of reminded me of mission trips where I was fully step by step dependent on Him. And I was alone with Him on this retreat. And I couldn't ignore His voice. I couldn't be pulled away by other voices or other sounds. It was just me and Him.
What did God tell you on this retreat?
So many things. Um, there were so many moments where I felt His presence and I heard His voice. One thing that He spoke to me was regarding my identity. Um, in my early Christian walk, God spoke to me in ways where I knew who I wasn't. I knew who I wasn't anymore. Um, I knew I wasn't a drunkard. I knew I wasn't an adulterer. I knew I he had different plans for me, and it was easy for me to receive that, right? To know that as truth. I didn't have to be who I was anymore. On this retreat, God spoke to me about who I am, and that was new. That's something that I think that I was dealing with or struggling with, and I just wasn't aware of it. Like there were there are still instances in my life and in my faith walk and as I serve Him where I'm just not sure. I'm like, God, are you really using me? Are you calling me? Am I really worthy? And God made it very clear to me in this retreat that I am worthy, that He can use me, and that He has a plan, not just, and reaffirmed to me not just who I'm not, but who I am. That was really important to me.
Wow. What was your transformational goal that you walked away with from the Lord?
Uh, Hopefully, I remember it correctly, but it's to invite Christ to compel my heart to its true identity, um, so that I can impact my
So,
community.
Fabian, tell me how your walk with God is even different now since Refocus.
One of the ways that it's different is um, I feel like, so since the retreat, there have been things that have happened around me or near me. And I don't know, like I see them differently when certain things would happen before, let's say to someone near me, and I hear it, I'm like, oh, I think I don't want to say that I was less compassionate, but I saw it as something over there, and I didn't see it for the battle that it was, between good and evil. And so since the retreat, I've had that near me and around me and very close. I've seen, um, very clearly evil spirits, you know, trying to impact a person. Um, and so that was one of the bigger differences for me is kind of one, recognizing it, and two, like not just it being so far away, right? Like, not that I didn't love others around me, but certainly like I'm seeing the opportunity and just like the urgency to hear His voice and respond to it, and not just think like, oh, there's always tomorrow. um because the enemy just is sneaking and lurking around, and if we're not, I realize that if I'm not like just super intentional, super obedient, hearing His voice and then responding to it immediately, that I'm missing an opportunity. And some of those conversations are very hard, um, but none of them are without a purpose. None of them are not necessary, right? God is calling those conversations, those moments for a reason. I think that's a difference, I think, where it's before I would just kind of see them as very far away and not that it mattered. And I think kind of going back to what we talked about with my identity and his call on my life, like he opened my eyes to that, right? Not like I said earlier, not just who I'm not, but who I am. And because I received that identity, there are actions that I have to take. And I can't just hear his voice and not respond.
Mm.
And so it's weird. Um, Maybe not weird, it's not the right word, but I'm in awe of like how he's continually speaking. And there were times before when I just didn't hear his voice, or I would just kind of go like, "No, he's probably not talking to me. Probably got that mission for somebody more important." But
Mm.
I'm realizing,
Wow. That he speaks to you.
yes,
Yeah. What would you tell other leaders to expect if they went to refocus?
I think um, if if I was gonna talk to somebody else who was considering going, like God is going to speak to you, and no matter what it is, at least from all the experience that I had and that I other people shared in the group, it doesn't matter what it is. He has something for you. He has a word. He has a call. He has, like, God knows each one of us. God knows you, and you're not there by accident. You're not here by accident. In this retreat, God is going to reveal to you something you've been struggling with, something that you just needed to hear. God's going to refocus your walk where you will be, um, your eyes will be open to Him, and you'll just see Him in a new way. That's how it impacted me, and I just would really encourage anyone who was considering it, like, if you heard of it and you've been invited, you should go. And you will see um, God in a different way, and you'll see what God has for you.